Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. Today is a celebration. The Bravo gods have answered our prayers. And not only are we going to dive into all of the drama on this week's episode of The Valley, we have some breaking news that just came out. And I think it is going to make a lot of you very happy because I think us here are very happy. Wouldn't you say, Lisa?
Definitely. So a huge weight's been lifted off our shoulders, and that weight is named Jax Taylor. That's right. He has announced that he is not returning to the Valley for season 3, which I guess also means that we're getting a season 3. I don't think we expected otherwise, but Jax is not going to be back. He says he's going to focus on his mental health, on being a better co-parent for Cruz, which he absolutely should be doing. So, but I think, this is proof that manifesting works.
I called
Not,
it.
no one wanted him on our screens anyway, but we got him, and it's just been it's just so toxic that yes, Jax, I support this decision.
Oh, 100%. I mean, everybody saw the writing on the wall, right? But I did call it a few weeks ago when Jax Taylor called it this show, his show. We cut to that time in 2020, season 8 finale, where he called Vanderpump Rules his show to Lisa Vanderpump's face. Then they fired him at the end of the season. So it does look like history actually ended up repeating itself, and I'm
Mhm.
so glad that it did. Um, this is absolutely fantastic news. But let's talk about that statement because I'm not buying it. I don't think that he chose to walk away from this show. Are you actually buying that this was his decision?
I don't think so. I think it was probably like, hey, we highly suggest that you step away and bow out on your own. And if you
Yeah.
don't, we're going to have to not bring you back, and it's going to make things more awkward. So I think they basically forced his hand, and just kind of let him make it seem like it was his decision.
Yeah, I mean, Bravo does have a way of letting these cast members kind of take their exits into their own hands and make a statement, even though I think many of them don't ever choose to leave. It's
Yeah.
Bravo actually firing them. And with all of the backlash and all of the toxicity, I think that they not only listened to us, but also like realized over time. I think it took them, longer than it should have,
Yeah.
but that this man is truly a liability to Brittany, to his family, to his fellow cast members, and is bringing the show down. I mean, every episode that we didn't have Jax or, had 30 seconds of his Blair Witch confessionals was a much better episode to watch because ever since he's been back and we've been getting these scenes, we don't need him. We don't need him. We don't like the scenes he's in. He's not redeeming himself by any means. He's only making things worse at this point. So, we just have, I guess, a few more episodes with him. We have the season finale next week and then the reunion. And then goodbye, Kyle.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Goodbye, Jax. So see you never. Let's call it what it is, stepping away, putting it on pause. I hope it's see you absolutely never again on my TV screen.
Yeah, I don't know that we're that lucky, Kim, but I think for now we'll get a decent break that we all deserve, quite frankly. So, okay, are we ready to dive into this week's episode? Because there's a lot to go into.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so let's start with Danny and Nia. Now, the size of Danny and Nia's condo has been a storyline for 2 seasons now. Whenever they show this condo, I am triggered because there is just stuff everywhere. And how can there not be? Like, they have 3 little kids, 3 under 3. Kids come with a lot of stuff, and they are just bursting at the seams in their own words. And so they're like, oh, let's go look at some houses. Of course, Danny wants to move to Santa Clarita where there's more space, but it's much further away. Nia doesn't want to do that. Nia wants to stay in LA area. She's agreed to look at a house in the valley. And we get there, and first of all, like, did we know that Jasmine was a realtor? I feel like we need to do a better job of backstory because that was not on my radar at all. Nope.
No, it was a surprise to me.
Yeah. I assumed that she was doing some job that like she didn't want to share because they never once talked about her being a realtor. And so Mia's dragging Danny to see this house. And let's be real, like it is a tiny house with zero curb appeal. Okay. That front door, I'm sorry, what was that? Like it's just a wall with like a tiny little door for $1.1 million. The inside does look very nice. Like they've redone it, they've remodeled it, everything looks gorgeous. But like, let's be real, there's no space for them. The closets are tiny, there's no storage space. It's a 4-bedroom, sure, but the bedrooms are this big. The bathrooms are even smaller. I I'm just like, guys, I don't know. It has less square footage than their condo.
I mean, so there are like a lot of things, that we see on these shows that I'm like, oh, maybe reality TV isn't real. This scene proved to me that reality TV is fake as fuck because this was not realistic whatsoever. This was just to film a scene in a house that they could get like a permit to film in. This house was in no way, shape, or form good for them. Smaller than their condo, that is not what they are looking for. If this is any indication of how Jasmine is as a realtor, she's not a very good realtor. She's not listening to what her clients actually want because this is the opposite of what they want. This was just fake as hell to me. It was just an excuse to kind of get Jasmine and Danny and Nia like back in a room together where it wasn't like a sit down, at a restaurant, which
Yeah.
was fine. And if anything that if this scene did anything, it was to see that they are on good terms.
Yeah.
Jasmine is good with Danny. Danny's good with Jasmine. Nia's good with Jasmine. They're all, hunky dory here, and there are no issues between them, right?
Yeah, I'm curious if it's even Jasmine's listing, to be honest. I feel like they kind of just plopped her in there and they were like, okay, let's pretend like you're showing this house. And she's probably like, why would they buy this house? It's way too small for them. And they're like,
Yeah, blame
yeah,
production.
just pretend. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can blame production on this one. No hate to Jasmine. I'm just saying, like, it's giving not listening to your client's needs.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, they're talking about, the Janet situation and what went down in Hawaii. And Jasmine's basically like, look, we've talked, like, we want to move on. And like, Janet thinks she's taking up for me, but, she's making it worse. And so then we see Janet at Sheena's house with Michelle. They're, of course, talking about the Hawaii trip. And, Janet says that they were attacking her and like making up rumors about her husband. But what she's saying about Danny is facts. And so it's different. And, Sheena had some interesting thoughts on Kristen. What did you think about that?
Yeah, so why we're at Sheena's house, I don't know. It's a bit of a jump scare, after all of her breaking news from last week about Sheena and Brock. I don't know if we want to touch on that a little bit, but yeah, so Sheena basically says this comment that to me makes zero sense.
Yeah.
They're saying that Kristen, basically is sticking up for Danny and Nia, and that she's doing this because she always latches on to the popular girl and doesn't care like who she steps on to get there. Can anybody give an example of Kristen doing that previously? Because I don't really see that as like the way Kristen moves.
And who's the popular girl in this situation? Nia?
I
I
guess so.
I don't think she's the most popular girl in the group. Like, if anything, I feel like it's Brittany who has the most clout, yet she's not, it's like, yeah, she's friends with Brittany, but she's also standing up to Brittany and saying, hey, your friend Janet is doing this and this to our other friend Nia. Like, that's wrong. So I was confused by this comment. And yeah, I couldn't think of what she was referring to.
It's very interesting because do these women like Sheena and Janet actually know what like a true real friend is? Because when I watch those scenes with Kristen and Mia, I see that friendship. I feel that friendship. They are going through similar journeys with pregnancies and, starting a family and everything like that. They're going to doctor's appointments together. They're really leaning on each other during this. And that is what a true friendship is. So if Sheena and Janet just see that as like Kristen clout climbing when, I mean, let's be real, Kristen is pretty much one of the main characters of
Yeah.
oh, not Nia. So if anything, it would be the reverse, which it's not, but it's just it doesn't make any sense to me. The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Um, and Kristen is, she's using this platform to kind of prop up her businesses. I guess James May is still alive and well because they're doing a photo shoot. Brittany is in the photo shoot. She's done it before, but it's always been with Jax, and now it's kind of her moment to shine alone. I will say she looked super cute. I loved the braided pigtails. Like she's got great hair. She looked great in the shots. And what a way, like when when are we going to be the talent where we just go, we show up, we get full glam, we shoot for 5 minutes, and then we're out? Like that's what I want. Let's start manifesting that.
Well, let's be real. I don't think Brittany, got paid any money. It was probably just a favor and free glam, but
Okay, fine. Well, I do want to make money doing that. So,
well, there's no better time to start a modeling career than now. It's never too late.
never too late. Got it. Got it. Um, okay, so while she's there though, we have Jax on the phone calling saying, "Hey, can you send me the verification code for Ring? I'm setting up a new Ring camera." And Brittany is like, "No, I'm not going to send you the Ring code because then you're going to have access to my Ring, Jax. I'm not stupid, okay? I know what you're doing." And he's like, Brittany, I'm right here. I'm doing it right now." And it's like, oh my God, they can't even like, no, they can't talk to each other without it escalating. And I was waiting for Kristen to say something because the whole Ring camera thing was like her idea, right? Or Luke's idea. Hey, why don't you put like a camera in Cruz's room and maybe that'll make Brittany feel more comfortable with him going over there. So I think that's what Jax was trying to do. But like, yeah, you have to set up a separate account. You can't attach it to the Ring camera account at your other house that Brittany lives in.
Okay, but why do their lives revolve around these Ring cameras? It's been a storyline. The Ring cameras in Jackson Brittany's house have legitimately been a storyline since episode 1. They're covering them. They're not covering them. Jax is spying on them. He needs the code. Brittany then eavesdropped through her Ring camera to listen to him say these things about Cruz. Like, what is this normal in a relationship?
No.
For your lives to revolve around a Ring camera? And second question, why hasn't Brittany done a Ring brand partnership? Ring, why haven't you reached out to Brittany to do their Ring camera should be like, are they paying for a sponsorship on this show? Because if not, they should. We've talked about them more than, I don't know. We've seen more about the Ring camera.
More than Kyle Chan.
Yeah, some of the actual cast members on this show. It is crazy.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I think it's such a storyline because they all lie. And Jax especially lies. And so the only way that Brittany can get to the truth sometimes is to look at the Ring camera footage. Jax, you had a girl over last night. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I can see it on the camera. So like she can't rely on him to tell the truth to save his life. So like that's what she has. And then he in turn uses it against her by, seeing what she's up to and trying to like throw that in her face. So no, it is not normal. It is absolutely not normal.
I don't even have one Ring camera, let alone 7 in every corner of my home to spy on my husband. I don't know. Let us know in the comments if a Ring camera is like part of your marriage at this point, because
Wait,
that's just crazy.
do you remember when Ring camera was like central to the scandal of Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas breaking up?
Remind me. I that does ring a bell. Ring a bell.
It rings a bell.
See what I did
So
there?
it was like he allegedly heard something or saw or heard something on the Ring cam, and that's what led him to divorce her, like file for divorce or them to split up. And so for months, weeks, it was like, what was on the Ring cam? Like, what did he catch her like with someone? Did he hear her say something? Like, it was such a mystery that everyone was trying to get to the bottom of. So
And we never found out?
I want to say it turned up that he heard her talking on the phone to someone, and she said something that, you know, I don't know, was not favorable.
Ring camera breaking up marriages since
Left and right.
2020. Yeah. Jeez. I don't know. That's crazy. But I don't know. So it sounds like was Jax trying to install Ring cameras at his new home through Brittany's account? I don't know what was going on, but we get this scene with Jesse going over to Jax's new place. It's stairs on stairs on stairs. It looks nice, but it's definitely, maybe Jax will tone up a bit from all of those stairs, but him and Jesse sit on the balcony, which is again touching balconies with Schwartz's condo. No Schwartz cameo this time though, and they're kind of talking about their, comparing their relationships. So Jax is basically saying he has no control over whether he sees Cruz or not. He wants to, form a plan with Brittany, and they're playing this like sad music in the background, and he's talking about how much he misses Cruz. There's like flashbacks and stuff. And like for just a second, I did start to feel a little bad, but then I caught myself and I'm like, no, 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 no. The reason why this man can't see his son is his own fault.
Right.
He was violent right in front of him towards his wife. So obviously, there's a reason why he's not seeing him. And it all comes back to him. We should feel no sympathy for this man who put himself in this position.
No, I catch myself doing the same thing and then have to remind myself, yes. And I think Brittany probably feels the same way. She has to keep telling herself, we are in this position because of your behavior, because you fucked up time and time again, like not just once, not twice, countless times. And the straw that broke the camel's back was when, yeah, he got like physically violent, threw a table. It hurt Brittany. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to have my kid around that. And he just makes it seem like she is just playing with his emotions and just keeping his kid away from him because she can. And that just goes to show how little progress he's made on himself, because he's putting all the blame on her. He's not taking accountability for saying, I know that I can't see him because of the things that I've done. So I'm doing everything in my power to focus on improving and proving that like I am trustworthy and, can be around him. No, that's not Jax's style. And I actually found myself saying, wow, Jesse has good advice here, because he said, look, man, if you go out and go drinking, that's what everyone expects from you, right? So don't do that when like that's not going to get you any closer to your goal, which is seeing your son. And, when you find yourself like saying, yeah, Jesse is like the one spewing wisdom, I mean, that's, it's a low bar. So you gotta.
Yeah, but then Jesse has his own issues, and while he may be a great dad, that doesn't sound like he's too good with money because their financial assets are frozen. Is this the first we are hearing about this?
I don't know. I don't really understand how that all works, but apparently Michelle like filed the wrong papers or something. I don't know how you file the wrong papers for divorce. Isn't it like, I'd like a divorce, here's the divorce paper to fill out? I don't know.
I don't know either. It would seem that way, especially if you are using an attorney. And if your attorney was the one that filed the wrong papers, you probably need a new attorney.
Although Jess filed them incorrectly as well, because he put like they were never legally married. So I don't know. Maybe it's more complicated than I realized.
But was he representing himself at the time? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's expected, right? That Jax Taylor doesn't know how to fill out a form. But yeah, I don't know. It's apparently he took out some $300,000 loan right before they filed, and Michelle is refusing to pay for it, which rightfully so. I feel like I would do the same thing, but it's just like prolonging everything. And I guess like at what point do you just want to like cut it off? But not when it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. That it's very messy, but Jesse says he's at rock bottom. Jack says he's at rock bottom. So, I mean, yeah, this is while we like there's a lot of fun parts to this show, but there are also such like darkness and despair mixed in with it. And like these are characters in a way, and we talk about them as characters, but like they are also real people going through stuff. So I don't know. I always have to kind of reconcile that in my brain. Like, and I think I'll always have empathy for whoever is like going through something, even if I very much dislike the person. Like, I very much dislike Jax. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to deny that, like, he's probably feeling shitty because he's going through this stuff. And same with Jesse.
Are you trying to segue to the Janet scene? Because
Oh,
talk
God.
about wanting sympathy. Okay. So there's a lot to unpack about this scene. First of all, they're going to the tattoo parlor to get tattoos of rings on their ring finger. And I burst out laughing, honestly. I didn't see that coming. And the fact that they are taking this ring rumor so seriously that Jason now has to tattoo it on his finger. So even if he does take it off, it's still there. And then I saw a clip from the after show of Kristen saying, "Oh, great. Now every time they look down at it, they'll think of me." Like, honestly, thoughts on the ring tattoo? Because I think it is diabolical. Not in general, just for these people. Just
For
for
them.
yeah.
I think, I don't know. I feel like Jason probably said it as like, oh, hey, like this will make you feel better kind of thing. But yeah, it's like if you feel like you have to go do this to show your partner that like you're not stepping out on them, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
My thoughts exactly.
But part of me thinks that Jason is genuinely like a nice guy and like just trying to do what's right by his wife. You know, it's like whether or not we enjoy his wife as much as he does, that's not our business. But like it's, I don't know. I think it's a nice thought, but a little strange. And it's like he literally just got a line. Like it wasn't even like, it doesn't look like a ring. It looks like you just like took pen and just went. Meh.
Yeah, I don't know. And then this kind of proceeds to be like a montage of all the comments about Janet from online, and she's basically saying like Kristen just reads the comments that everybody's saying online and like spews them out as, comebacks to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see it like that. I think that Kristen like has the same thoughts as we do about Janet and just chooses, she's on a show with her, so she chooses to communicate them to her.
Yeah.
And we get this montage of like, Janet's horrible. We want her off the show. We're only watching for, Kristen and Brittany and all this stuff. And I don't know. She's trying to gain sympathy and, saying how hurtful the comments are, which I get it, but not to compare her to Jax, but sometimes you got to take accountability for what you do. And the reason the people feel this way about you is because of the things that come out of your own mouth and the things that you say and the way that you treat people. Because right now, you are trying to destroy Danny and Nia's life. You are making these huge accusations, very dangerous accusations, And you do so again and again and again. And that's why people feel the way they feel about you. They don't want you on TV anymore. Now, do I wish her ill will? No. People are obviously sending threats to her and her family and all this stuff. That is beyond anything that is appropriate. Nobody should ever be doing that. But I don't think that it's a surprise that people may not like you with the way you are acting on this show.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for her in the moment because you can see that it affects her, but also like she has to realize that the things that she does and says affect other people too. And so she needs to take a look inside and be like, look, obviously people are seeing me a certain way. And if that's not truly how she is, then like she needs to make adjustments. And she hasn't. She's almost further leaned into this like villain thing um from season 1 to season 2. And so it's like, well, yeah, people are going to react to how you behave.
Yeah, and I mean Nia called it Voldemort of the Valley. I didn't see that tweeted anywhere. Nia came up with that all on her own, and I don't think anybody was in her ear saying that. It's just if you watch how this woman moves, these people know her way better than we do, and they're saying this stuff about her. So it's just I don't know. It's obvious what's happening here to me. And I do hope that she looks inward and change. Look, we do give people the opportunity to change. We've
Yeah.
given Jax 10 years to change. Brittany gave Jax 10 years to change. Did he? No, but people do change. People can learn and grow. We've seen it on Housewives. So I will maybe give her that opportunity.
I mean,
People,
look at Stassi. Like, Stassi
that's
was
true.
horrible in the early seasons of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, she was very young and very immature, but like, she was such a brat. She was, you know, like a mean girl. And it's like, she has completely changed her image, how she carries herself, focused on her family. Like, and she's really,
Kristen as well.
and Kristen as well. You're right.
Yeah,
So,
and maybe
yeah,
it's because we've followed their journeys longer, but it's like it's almost easier to look at it that way because when they were horrible, like they were in their early 20s with like no
yeah,
responsibilities and stuff like that. Like this woman is old enough to know better, right?
yeah.
Like she has a family, she has a child. It's like just stop with the accusations. I don't know. So we'll see. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Jax is gone. Oh, well, we want Janet next." And I don't know. I won't go that far, but I will say that she needs to change and take some accountability herself as well.
Yeah. So, okay, we end the episode with Jax coming over to Brittany's house. And guys, this was so hard to watch. Like, he says he's coming over so that they can make a plan about co parenting and like setting boundaries and everything like that. And it just starts off like super awkward. Jack says, I'm kind of coming in with my tail between my legs because like Brittany holds the upper hand and all I want to do is decruise. And so I just have to like play nice. And he says, like, oh, so how was Hawaii? Good. Did anyone miss me? No. What did you expect her to say? And then he's like, so this divorce, like, you're still good on that? What does he think she's going to be like? You know what, Jax? Actually, I've been thinking, and like, you've been doing so much better lately. No, you haven't done anything. Like, and he's like, oh, I just don't know how you can throw it all away like that. 10 years, just move on and throw it away. And it's like, what makes you think that she's throwing it away? Just because she's dating someone new? Like, that doesn't mean that she's thrown everything away or gotten over everything. Like, it just means that she's trying to kind of close that door, but like, it doesn't mean she's forgotten everything. I don't know. He just kept saying that. And I was like, stop.
That was crazy. This whole scene was crazy. And I'm pretty sure this scene was the first time all season we have not seen Jax Taylor in full Jax merch. He came in looking like the businessman special. He was in a
Yeah.
button down and slacks and a belt. Like he was this changed man ready to have a conversation and get his son back. And Brittany clocked it right away. She's like, "Did you take Xanax? Because you were acting completely different than every text message that you have sent me in the last 2 weeks since you've been out of rehab." Like, and he's like, "No, I didn't." Like, it's obvious that something was going on there because he was trying to play it cool. He was trying to act like this completely different person. She didn't, fall for it at 1 second. She's like, "I've been hearing you've been at the bar every night saying that, telling the bartenders to give you vodka and pretending like it's water, like all of this crazy manipulative stuff." And the throwaway comment was just like, no, Brittany's actually been trying to make this work for years.
Right.
You should have gone on your medication 5 years ago. You should have gone to therapy 5 years ago. And then it just basically all blows up. Like, Brittany does not want him to see Cruz. She wants full custody. She said, "I want to handle everything, I guess, when it comes to Cruz's medical bills and send you half." And Jax is like, "No, I'm not paying for half unless I get custody. Now I'm going after alimony from you because you make more than me." Like, this is so messy. Like, I think there are more layers to it than we even like. Not only is it just, oh, the house, right? The rental, the house, the podcast earnings and stuff. There are so many layers to this financially that I'm afraid that Brittany is never going to recover from this. And honestly, Jax being off the show, I'm even more concerned about how this is going to go, because how is he going to be making any income? Is everything going to be on Brittany now?
I mean, it's a great question. He has his eBay store. We know he likes to sell on eBay. But yeah, that was really, it took a dark turn because, like, your goal is to get your kid back. All she's asking is, "I want you to pay half of his medical bills." And he's like, "No, not doing it." Like, that's pittance compared to what you should be paying, which is half the mortgage still until you guys figure out what to do the house, child support. Like, I don't, I just don't know where his head is ever at, and like how he rationalizes these things in his mind. Because you
What
don't have physical custody of your kid, you think that you shouldn't have any responsibility for him.
Well, and what makes him think that he deserves custody? I think that's something that you have to earn and show that you can be trusted. And obviously, he hasn't shown that. And he's been out of the mental health facility for 2 weeks. At this point, I think we're nearing the end of the summer, but in real time, I think he ends up going back to the facility later last year after filming Wrapped, because obviously he still needed more help. So he's not even like seeing that he himself can't, it doesn't deserve custody, and it's not safe for Cruz to be in his custody. It's not like it's dangerous right now, and he has to earn that. He can't
Yeah.
just get it just because he's his dad.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he truly thought that Brittany would always come back to him and that he could treat her however he wanted, and like she would always be there for him. And I think for a long time she was, and now she's finally saying enough is enough. Those days are over. I think when she said that, I was like, yes. And I think she's saying it to him as much as she's saying it to herself, because it's got to be hard to cut someone off like that when you are so used to being pulled back in, and especially when like there's a kid involved. So when she said like, "Those days of me sticking up for you, bailing you out, protecting you are over." And I think she really means it.
I was so proud of her. Like, she really stood up for herself in this moment. And it's like finally clocking to her. It's clocking to her. She's standing on business at this point, a la Justin Bieber, because she is just not like letting Jax walk all over her anymore. he has officially started giving her the ick. Like when she's like, "You're disgusting, you're so gross," like she wants nothing to do with him at this point. And I'm glad that she finally got to that point. So I was really proud of her. And I really hope that, we know at this point that the divorce is still not finalized. I'm sure we'll get more updates at the reunion, but I do want her to stand strong because Jax deserves to pay for his mistakes. And, you know, he got her into this situation and they had a kid together. So I really hope that he helps support him and doesn't like leave Brittany to be responsible for everything, because that's just like, talk about a terrible father.
Yeah, so we will see how this all plays out. And next week is the finale. And then we have reunion. So we are almost there. I gotta say, like, I've been, as much as I've been enjoying it, I like it's also very heavy, the valley. So I am kind of ready to be at the end.
Oh, for sure. But we have next season to look forward to, a lightness, the weight has been lifted, the dark clouds are parting. So I think that's something to look forward to, actually, a season of the Valley without Jax Taylor. So, raise your glasses high today. Jax Taylor, we said goodbye to him. I could not be happier. And we'll be back next week to cover more Valley and maybe even some OC. We weren't able to recap that this week, but we wanted to hop on for the Valley. So stay tuned next week and we'll see you guys then.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.